My name is David Jaffe. Welcome to the Wealth and Health Podcast, where you'll learn valuable skills and positive habits that will improve your life. This podcast originally aired as a video on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/beststockstrategy. The Wealth and Health Podcast is brought to you by beststockstrategy.com. Anton, Kreil, and ITPM. This is an update video from my last video where previously I warned people that Anton Kreil is a complete scam artist. I do not believe he trades at all. Instead, I believe that he perpetuates this macho and alpha lifestyle in order to attract vulnerable people, and then he overwhelms them with garbage information. And I saw this video and I want to bring it to your attention, because here is a review from someone who went through his course.
The technical side, the charting side of it was absolute garbage. It didn't help at all. There was no edge in it whatsoever. So what they really focus on is a fundamental approach. They start with a macro view of the world and say, okay, let's look at GDP growth. Let's look at...
As I've mentioned numerous times before, I believe that fundamental analysis is a complete waste of time and energy. Technical analysis, in my opinion, is much better than fundamental analysis because it gives you insight into price action. Do I believe that technical analysis will give you a huge edge? I'm not so sure. But what I can tell you is that looking at the chart, looking at moving averages, looking at support and resistance levels, I don't believe it's necessarily going to hurt you. For example, if you see that a stock has a tendency to bounce off its 50-day moving average, then I don't think it's a bad idea to sell a put option below the 50-day moving average, because then there's a decent probability that that strike price is not going to get challenged.
Retail sales. Let's look at ISM, manufacturing index. Let's factor in certain things from a macro perspective. How is China doing as an economy? How's the US doing as an economy? How's the Eurozone doing as an economy? Right? What about inflation? What about interest rates? So they start with all these macro factors, and then they start narrowing it down into sectors and industries. The best known survey comes out every month. That's the ISM Manufacturing and Services Index, which is like a survey of companies, and they ask them, how's the business? How are the orders? What do you expect? Etc. And every single country, capitalistic country in the world, has some where the government or some other entity question or surveys the companies out there in the field and ask them, what are your business process? How are you doing, right? So they take this and they say, okay, this is probably maybe an edge. You need to understand how the ISM works. You have to analyze it every month. And then you will probably know what the new orders are for a specific business, for a specific sector. And then you can say, okay, the sector is probably going to fare well in the next 3 to 6 months or 1 to 3 months. And then they start looking for individual stocks in that sector and industry. Now, here's my question, and this is also my experience. If you use the ISM data, which is just a press release, where they order industries in a certain way based on how positive the companies are in their outlook, this is not an edge. Why? Because the whole market looks at it's on the everyday calendar in trading view. Whenever they come out, first business day of the month, and then the third business day of the month, ISM comes out with the data. The market looks at it, digests the data. It will adjust prices in the stocks and so.
Right. So this is efficient market hypothesis. All of the known publicly available information is already priced into the stock. So paying Anton Kreil for the right for you to mismanage and waste your time is a complete idiotic thing to do. This type of fundamental analysis is worthless. It's actually going to end up costing you money, because the more time you invest in something, the more you feel that you understand it better than others. The more you feel that you've earned the right to be profitable because you've invested the time and the effort. But in the stock market, the only thing that matters is making good decisions. The market doesn't care how much time you've invested. It's not the market's fault that you've wasted hours of time on a bogus strategy that doesn't provide you with any edge.
Jason said because they were presented in the survey. The market has priced it in. There's no edge whatsoever doing this. And that's why when Anton Kreil was publishing this video, talking in front of a classroom, and that's the same format you got in the original video series. It's just in a classroom talk. You're going into depth about this, but there's no edge. This is publicly available information. It gets priced in by the market. I don't think there's an edge. Then they boil it down to looking at cash flows of companies, balance sheets, income statements.
Here, same deal here. It's already publicly available information. The financial statements are also historical in nature. So this is not going to provide you with any edge either.
Figure out for the notes a company press release gives you or financial statements give you. Is the company in trouble? Is the outlook pretty good, etc.? It's a lot of work, right? You have to find these companies. You have to listen to their earnings, press conferences, like the phone calls and what the management is saying. This is a complex matter, and I don't see an edge in this.
This is how Anton Kreil fools you. He tells you that you have to do all of these things. Then when you fail, when you lose money, he will point the finger at you and say, oh, you weren't committed enough. There's more that you could have done. You could have done this and this. You could have read all of their historical 10Ks and 10Qs in their annual report. You could have called their biggest customers. You could have done all of this diligence. It's your fault for failing. When in reality, he's scamming you. What he's teaching you is garbage. And attached to that garbage is unrealistic expectations that are placed on the student who is actually paying $15,000 for the right to be scammed. Then, when the student realizes that he's been scammed, Anton Kreil will then point his finger back at the student and say, no, you failed because you didn't do everything that was expected of you.
At the end of the day, you can have a company that has terrible news and the price still goes up. The stock price can go up 300%, even though the company has terrible news, terrible outlook, terrible everything. Because at the end of the day, the price pays, not fundamental analysis. That's just what it is. You can be all right about fundamentals, but the market will do the exact opposite because it's all known.
This is 100% accurate what this guy is saying.
And since the ITPM doesn't give you an education when it comes to technical analysis, or at least there is a very tiny, badly designed part in their courses, don't expect that you'll make money from it. From my own personal experience, like, there's no way. There's no way. There's another issue. Options portfolios. They like to construct low-short options portfolio. So basically they say you only need like 10 positions. 5 positions are long positions, you're long stock. And 5 positions are short, you're short stock. Now you have to think about this also. That's how they teach it. We taught it forever. If I have a bull market, and my portfolio is a 50-50 long-short portfolio based on fundamental analysis I've done, coming from macro level, going through industries, sectors, into individual companies, individual stocks. And I have a bull market. Those shorts that I have in that portfolio, they will completely kill my performance. Because in the bull market, 90% of stocks, even the shitty ones, they go up. So I will lose money if I just have a 50-50 portfolio. And then you mix in something else. And by the way, obviously this is true for bear market, right? All the longs will get killed. And the bearish positions have to pay for that. The shorts have to pay for all this. So you will get...
If you're hedged too much, then even in a bull market, those hedges are going to cost you more money than you're making from your long positions.
If you get positive result at all, it's been like hammered down by the bad shits that you're carrying in this portfolio. So obviously, you have the option to adjust the portfolio when you're weighing. And you can say it's a bull market, so 70%, 80% long. But this was, at least in the initial videos that I bought, this was never a topic of discussion, how to adjust that, depending on the market situation. They have to think about this, right? They were kind of agnostic. And that's just bad. That's just really bad. Talking about options, they like to use options rather than real stock for the most part in constructing portfolios. Let me just tell you one thing. If you put all your money, cast in long option.
One thing before I forget, It says right here that Anton Kreil is a former institutional trader. Remember that investment banks make money as market makers, which means that they're matching buyers and sellers and they're profiting a few basis points off the bid-ask spread differential. They're not retail traders. Retail traders are assuming significant risk, whereas with institutional traders, they're making riskless profits, just a few basis points, but on huge volumes of trades, because they're making markets, they're enabling the transaction to take place. There is nothing that an institutional trader can teach you that is applicable to retail trading. And there are no skills that an institutional trader has that would make that same trader a good retail trader, because it's completely different. Also, like I said, I do not believe that Anton Kreil trades at all. He doesn't share any trades. He doesn't share his trading statements. I think that Anton Kreil is only selling a lifestyle and he's selling a fake dream, but he doesn't actually trade. ITPM and Anton Kreil profits from finding gullible suckers who pay them $5,000 to $20,000 to learn a garbage strategy that doesn't work. Well, they sell them false dreams and false hope of if they sacrifice enough of their time and if they put in enough hard work, that they will be successful. But this is all false. It's a scam.
Let me just tell you one thing. You put all your money, half in long options, half in short options, right? And on stocks. And you get a big move whatsoever. And options on one side become worthless. The money isn't value. And you will lose your capital so quickly. The other thing is, what do they hear from the mentees? I don't even know if that's an English word, but they call them mentees. So people who take the mentorship, right? I thought firsthand from about 5 mentees, so people who paid like 15 grand or well above 10 grand to be in this mentorship program, they were not happy. They were not happy. Because a lot of people seem to be signing up for those, and there's a very limited number of those mentors. And I had people tell me, you know, they had mentorships of Jason McDonald, for example, and it seemed that Jason didn't really make time for them, was not really open to their questions, was just saying, well, don't think it will work, then just don't do it. If you think it will work, just try. And there was never really in-depth mentoring. So that they were usually very disappointed and they were angry that they spent the money on this. So can this stuff work? I already answered the question. For me personally, I got the insight. I paid for some of these video courses. I never went for the mentorship. It was just too crazy to learn about these amounts that they wanted. I would never pay something like this. I know it didn't work for me. Bottom line is, I can only envision how much money these guys make. It's just crazy. And it's been around. And they sell you the island dream, right? Sell you the island dream. And remember, if you go back, there's the island tree in Thailand, right? And then here's the trader's anniversary party, right? And then the funny thing is, as you can see here, Annihilates retail brokers and trading educators. He always talks about other trading educators to be charlatans, charlatan educators, where, you got to be very careful, right? Because we don't know if ITPM is legit. They have been out there for a while. It's very polished. You don't really find too much negative stuff, as we have seen here when we just try to find ITPM review things. This is ITPM everywhere. And these are affiliates, I think. Here, this is the other one that is similar. There's more ITPM stuff. One thing that I didn't like in the past about their stuff at all is they used to sell individual videos, like videos about people who were basically supposedly doing very well. And they were selling those videos for like $100 or something. And they were just advertising them saying, well, you should really spend $100 because otherwise you're just a bum. Like don't be cheap or whatever, just pay them that. So you spend the money, I did it once. I watched a video about a guy who was supposedly had doubled his account or whatever within a few months. Just to learn a little bit more in depth about the methodology, but there was nothing new coming out of it. And then what did Mr. Kreil do? A few weeks later, the video was available for free for everybody on his channel. And let me just tell you one thing. if you let people pay for a video, let's say it's exclusive content, and whoever doesn't pay for it is a bum, and then a few weeks later you publish the video for free for everybody, you betray the people who paid for the video, right? So who's the bum? So this is the way.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's misrepresentation. You're going to entice people and manipulate them by calling them names, making them feel inferior, saying that they're a bum because they don't want to spend $100, saying that they're cheap, and then you betray those same people who place their trust in you.
She operates, and it's the whole alpha male vibe coming off Anton Kreil in this institute is very aggressive. We are winners and everybody's a loser and stupid. This is appealing to a lot of people, it seems. This is how he sells his courses and his mentorships. But if you look at the actual content, as I've laid out, it's just not something that I found helpful at all.
Imagine spending $5,000 to $15,000 and not finding any helpful information in the content that you paid for. That's crazy. That's just nuts.
I hope this can be somewhat informative. Obviously, I'm not affiliated with ITPM, Anton Kreil. Otherwise, I wouldn't give a negative review. I'm not affiliated with anybody else to give a negative review on ITPM. This is my own experience. And ITPM, if you're watching this, you can go back into your records and you'll probably know my name from my videos right here. It's impossible to at least hide your name when you record a video every day. And you can go back and you will find my name there. And you will see that I purchased the courses 3 years ago, options course and the PTM, and that I inquired about the mentorship. And this is my experience, and this is what I reported on here in this video, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching this. Bye.
So here's Anton Kreil's X profile or Twitter. He calls himself the Pure Blood King. In my opinion, Anton Kreil and ITPM is a 100% scam and fraud. You're not going to learn anything of value. All you're going to do is be belittled by a wannabe alpha. But this wannabe alpha is a loser. Nobody who's a good person is going to take advantage of and betray innocent people who have placed their trust in him. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you agree or disagree, let me know your thoughts. I'll also pin the original video in the comment section below. Visit beststockstrategy.com and submit your email address to receive valuable free training. Please give this podcast a positive rating and review. If you have any questions, visit beststockstrategy.com and send me a message.